Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jasmine McGee. I'm the Social Action Chair for the Durham Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. We are happy today to co-sponsor this event with the NPHC of Durham and Orange counties. It looks like the rain's going to hold off, but the bad news is it is hot. I see you all have recognized that, but hopefully we will stay cool, and we want to keep the program portion of today short so that we can meet and greet, which is what this event is really intended for. But we do want to have an opportunity to have the candidates speak to us a little bit about their platforms, and really appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to turn it over now to Kimberly Williams, who is going to MC this short portion of the event.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me start off by saying thank you for all the wonderful people that are coming out today. If you are a representation of a Divine Nine, let me hear you do your thing. All right. So we're going to do this in an orderly fashion, right? So when I call the races, we'll go ahead and have you start to line up. Each person will get 1 minute to speak. 1 minute. So please be respectful. We have a lot of candidates that want to speak today. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the U.S. Senate race. No, we're not. We are? Okay. Shannon Bray, and then we'll have Constant Love Johnson. Is Shannon Bray in the house? Going once? Going twice? Okay, these are people that signed up. So next we will have Constance Love Johnson. She was here. Okay, we're going to move on for the sake of the heat. We'll start with the district attorney race. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Durham district attorney race. Satana DeBerry. And everybody else that's running for DA, for the sake of time, if you can go ahead and line up. Please be mindful of the cords.
Start the time. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Satana DeBerry. I am your district attorney. I am also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta for the 33rd consecutive year. But I am here just quickly to tell you what we stand for and what I've been doing for the last 4 years. So number one, I am the only candidate who has done exactly what they said they would do over these last 4 years. We have returned the driver's license to 11,000 of our neighbors. We have helped the courts forgive $2.7 million in criminal justice debt during the time when every other court in the state was shut down for the pandemic. We had court every single day during 2020 and 2021, and now in 2022. We have decreased our Superior Court caseload. We have decreased, there is no backlog in district court, and we have managed to, during all of that time, prosecute the most serious and violent cases and turn our attention away from those low-level crimes that generate mass incarceration for Black and brown people in this country. And we've also made sure that we are treating our children as children, that we are finding resources for them in the school system, resources for them in the community, not sending them to prison to find those resources. So I ask that you get out and vote. Early voting is open now. I ask that you get out and vote for me. May 17th is primary day, so make sure you vote for Satana DeBerry for district attorney. Thank you.
Perfect and on time. So Jonathan Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? My name is Jonathan Wilson. I am running to be your next Durham County District Attorney. I'm a proud member of the Beta Epsilon chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. 19 years in the game, 1-9. The reason why I'm running, I'm a criminal defense attorney here. I have tried, negotiated, and handled every single type of case that you can here in Durham, from a speeding ticket to first-degree murder. Of the rest of the candidates left in this race, I'm the only one with that experience. My plan is to actually reduce the violent crime that we have here in Durham. Durham is on pace to break a record in murders, firearm offenses, and shooting incidences, and that cannot stand. I'm also here because I want to represent the victims as well. Victims here in Durham feel unprotected, unheard, and unsafe. Cases are being dismissed because they are not getting notice of court dates. They're not given any time to even come for bond hearings. That is unacceptable. And lastly, those who are the most vulnerable in the community. That includes those with drug addiction, mental health issues, but most importantly, the juveniles. We have to take care of the children. They are the future here in Durham. And we must give them the resources and treatment that they need. And that is being neglected currently as we speak now. I'm here for Durham. I love Durham. I've been here since 2006, and I fight for Durham. And that is the reason why I'm running, and no other purpose is for that. So I ask for your support on May 17th and through this early voting process. Thank you, and my name is Jonathan Wilson. Y'all have a great day.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel's not here, so
Kaylee Tabor, who's running for district attorney for Orange and Chatham County.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kaylee Tabor. I'm running for district attorney in Orange and Chatham County. So if you have friends or family in either of those locations, tell them to vote for Kaylee Tabor. I have 25 years experience as a lawyer, graduated from UNC a couple of times, married a guy from UNC. But what's different about me is that I've been working with victims of violent crime for the last 23 years. The majority of them being women who are victims of domestic violence and children who are physically and sexually assaulted. I know about trauma. I know what we have been doing with mass incarceration is a failure. We need to turn the criminal justice system on its head. We need to talk with people not about what you did, but about what happened to you. So I can figure out a way and a plan forward to help you thrive in our community again. Criminal justice involvement is a symptom of larger problems. It can be a symptom of over-policing. It can be a symptom of mental health involvement, addiction. And one interesting thing about Kaylee Tabor is I helped start our community resource court, which diverts the seriously mentally ill out of the court system and into a community support. So I'm very proud of that. I have family members that are mentally ill, some who are thriving, some are just surviving. So I know what I'm talking about. I hope you'll consider spreading the word, and let's get Kaylee Tabor as the next district attorney, because we need something different. And by the way, if elected, I'll be the very first woman to hold this position. The very first woman. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to circle back to the U.S. Senate race and Constance Love Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Constance Love Johnson, running for the U.S. Senate, and I am Joe Biden's pick for North Carolina. And I want you to know it was a war getting to this point. When someone has a relationship with a candidate for years or for a year prior, they're most likely going to circle around that candidate. So most of the people that Beasley circled around are supporting her because they know her. And our Democratic Party failed to interview, acknowledge the talent of the candidates that were running. But fortunately, our federal government officials, Joe Biden, kept his eyes on all of the candidates. So I'm very proud to be amongst his group of candidates that he feels is qualified for this job. I am a public administrator. What I do is very much like what the senators do. They write bills, they walk into places to determine what is wrong with this corporation, or what is wrong with this system over here, what is wrong with education, what is wrong with that state's economy. And they create ideas, they create bills. Bills are ideas that you present to a committee, and that committee submits them to the general body or the congressional chambers, which is the House or the Senate. and they review the information to make sure that it's suitable to build upon that bill to make these problems go away. So I do this on a regular basis as a public administrator. So I'm already doing what senators do. If you go to ConstanceLoveJohnson.com, you'll see a long list of bills that I write on a regular basis, and I submit them to those officials.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
I don't know I have time. I'm sorry. Okay.
So for the U.S. House District NC4, now we have Nida Alam.
Hey everyone, I'm Nida Alam. I am your current Durham County Commissioner here and the only Durham County elected official in this race for North Carolina's U.S. 4th Congressional District. And this is our opportunity, our first time in over 30 years to elect our next representative because Congressman David Price is retiring. And so it's an open seat. We have a chance to elect someone who has a proven track record of fighting for working families and who's going to take all of our voices to D.C. One of my first votes on the county commission was to raise the minimum wage for our school employees to $15 per hour. I worked with our commission to pass a tax assistance grant program for low-income residents to keep them in their homes amidst the COVID pandemic. And I worked with city council members to jointly fund an immigrant and refugee coordinator position to make sure all of our neighbors felt welcomed and safe here in Durham. And I'm going to run for Congress because we need people like us who understand the urgency of this moment and are going to go to DC to fight for working families, fight to address climate change, fight to make sure that everyone has access to health care, that it's a basic human right. And I hope you'll look into more information. I'll pass around flyers. My website is nidaalam.com, and I hope to earn your vote. Thank you so much.
Do we have anyone else in the audience that is here for the U.S. Congress race? Okay.
First of all, thank you to Delta Sigma Theta for hosting this today, or this afternoon, I should say. My name is Stephen J. Valentine. I'm running for United States Congress right here in the 4th Congressional District. Before I go in to tell you what I'm about, who I am, I just want to remind people out there, because earlier in the week someone came up to me and said, hey, there's a sister in the race. You can't hear me? Okay, sorry about that. They said, there's a sister in this race. I said, what sister? Of course, you know, I knew who they were talking about. But they said, you need to show that sister some deference, because she's been a member of Delta Sigma Theta for a very long time. And I said, well, I'll cede no ground on that. On May 14th, I'll be 35 years in Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Yes.
It's all love.
Yes, it is all love. Yes, it is all love. All right, so a lot of people don't know me. I'm new to politics, but I'm not new to service. I'm the only candidate in this race, if you do your homework, who has national security experience. I spent 21 years in uniform, 2 combat tours, one of which I received the Bronze Star Medal. Also, I'm the only candidate in this race who has foreign policy experience. And some would say, why is that important? Well, as a freshman representative, there is a 99.9% chance that you will be put on the Committee for Foreign Affairs in the House. I'm prepared on day one. I worked at the U.S. State Department during the first administration of someone you might know, Barack Obama. Also, I'm the only candidate in this race who's actually worked with people at the grassroots. As a social worker, I dealt with individuals, families, and communities to solve problems. And so
Thank you so much, Mr. Valentine.
I'm ready to serve. Thank you so much. They're allowing me to
Just
tell
like
you
a
how
cue.
you can
Go
learn
ahead.
more. Yes. www.stephenjvalentinefforcongress.com. I'm the only candidate for Durham.
Do we have anyone else for the Congress race?
I'm a surrogate, Mr. President.
Halito chima chukma yakuke ishto chatasia oklasia. So I simply said in the Choctaw words, hello, I hope y'all are good. Thank you for coming and listening. I'm from Choctaw people of Louisiana, tri-racial Choctaw tribe, but I'm representing my wife who's from the tribe that's here. She'd be the first Afro-Indigenous woman ever served in Congress and only the third American Indian woman. And I said Oklasia because she understands all the people. She's going to have to represent all the people, all the genders, all the cultures, all the complexions, all the economics, all the partisans, all of the differences and divides that we've been experiencing our whole life in politics. And so she's running on social justice, racial justice, environmental justice, because her first stand when she met me was 5 years ago when the KKK came to the courthouse in Orange County. She led the charge of 1,000 people to chase them out. Our own daughter was there because she remembered the KKK trauma on her grandmother. When her grandmother was 7 years old, she remembered those stories. So my 16-year-old daughter had the courage to march with us. Anyway, my wife also has government experience. If you look her up, you will see that she served in intelligence, counterintelligence, mostly on Russian and Israel possible threats on the soil. But she did have to learn a lot about those cultures and a lot about those foreign affairs. Not as much as my brother, but she has that experience.
Thank you so much.
Crystal clear Cavalier for Congress.
Hi everyone, my name is Courtney Giels and I'm running for U.S. Congress, also District 4. And if you remember anything about me, I'm a Christian nurse. I've been advocating for patients for about 10 years, mostly emergency room. And now I'd really like to advocate for truth and bringing power down to the people. I don't want the federal government dictating exactly what each of us are doing in our lives. They have certain roles by the Constitution, and as much as I can do in my power, I'd like to give power back to you. And one of those ways that I'd like to do that is in education. Education is supposed to be a state function, but our federal government's gotten very involved in education. So I'd like the money that's going from the federal government to come as a voucher to the parents, and that the money would follow the child. So then that voucher can be turned into public school, private school, charter school, or homeschool, whatever you as the parent want your child to be learning, then you have a voice. I'd like to also extend that voucher system for 2 years for ideally, community college, that would be able to pay for that. So that amount of money coming per child would also cover community college. And if that child wants to put that toward university, then that's their choice as well. So I'm Courtney Giels, and I'd love to talk to any of you, and I'd appreciate your vote for U.S. Congress District 4. Thank you.
So the next race we have is the sheriff race, and unfortunately, Sheriff Burkhead is not available to speak, but we understand that he has a representative here to speak on his behalf. Is that the case? Okay. So we will move on then to the clerk of court, Mr. Archie Smith. Okay. Labria Stevens, Durham County Clerk of Court. And not to throw any shade, but the names that I'm calling are people who said that they would be here.
I'm here. I appreciate it. And I will be here for Durham. Hi, everybody. Thank you. My name is Labria Stevens, and I am running to be your next clerk of court. A lot of people don't know what a clerk does. I'll tell you briefly. Collect money and make sure it goes where it needs to go. We keep the record in the courthouse and the files up. We also serve as a jurist when it comes down to probate court, legitimations, foreclosures, all those types of things. Why I'm running is that I've been practicing in Durham for the past 15 years. I've been around Durham for the past 25 years, all in the court system. And I've noticed some things, particularly around black land laws, that have been important to me, and how it goes, we lose it through that particular office because of the lack of transparency when it comes down to public administrators that are appointed, the lack of transparency when it comes down to people who who are appointed as guardians. Those things matter. In the past 15 years, only one person has been appointed as public administrator for all of these families in Durham. We're better than that, okay? And people that understand our family, understand our needs, okay? So that's why I'm running for clerk of court. Stevens for clerk of court.
Thank you so much. And we have another candidate here for clerk of court.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amina Thompson, and I'm asking for your support as your next Durham County Clerk of Superior Court. Excuse me. I am a proud member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and I have been for 20 years. Currently a member of the Alpha Zeta Omega chapter here in Durham. I have served the citizens of Durham for the past 13 years as a magistrate. I have dedicated my career to public service. I've worked closely with the clerk's office within that time and have had an opportunity to see where there are opportunities for improvement within that office. It is time for a change, and I am the woman for that job. I encourage you to check out my website at thompsonforjustice.com to learn more about my platform and my vision for the office. There is a serious accessibility gap that needs to be closed. I plan on hiring multilingual staff. I plan on having a law library and resource center to provide much needed resources to the citizens of Durham as they try to navigate a very complicated system. So again, I am Amina Thompson, and I'm asking for your support as your next Durham County Clerk of Superior Court. Thank you very much.
Okay, is everybody all right out there? Anybody need to stop and get some water, fan? Y'all feel that nice breeze? Yes, that's God. So the next race is District Court Judge, Seat 1, Miss Jessica Major.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jessica Major, and I am running for District Court Judge, Seat 1. The reason that I am running is because I believe that every person who comes to the courthouse deserves to have a judge who understands that they are not just a name on a piece of paper or a number on a piece of paper, that they are a real person who is experiencing a real problem, and they deserve to be treated as such, and that judge should care about the fact that this is a case that is going to affect this person beyond when they step outside of those courthouse doors. I'm also running because I believe that every judge should know the law and should be current on the law and should be able to apply the law to the facts of the case, such that when a person walks out of the courtroom, they can understand how that judge applied those laws to the facts of that case. I also am running because I believe that every judge should respect every person who comes into their courthouse every time. I've been an attorney in Durham for over a decade, and I've stood beside my clients as they've come into the courthouse. I've seen them cry, I've held their hands, and unfortunately for the last few years, I've seen some things that I just could not sit back and take any longer. And so I am running because I believe that every person who comes into the courthouse should walk out feeling respected. And I'm hoping that I have your vote for judge on May 17th or during early voting.
Next up, we have Judge Dave Hall.
Thank you, Deltas, for having me today. I am Judge Dave Hall. I'm your incumbent for Seat 1. I have an opponent. You just met her. I took the bench in 2018. I ran against an incumbent judge. I was elected. I enjoy the endorsements of 5 organizations here in Durham. I am a current family court judge, and before taking the bench, I was an indigent defense attorney. I practiced in almost every courtroom we had in Durham, or have in Durham. I then moved to civil rights law and processed. I was a senior attorney at Southern Coalition, where we had the Clean Slate Clinics. We processed over 5,000 people. We met all of them, worked with them, helped them to get out from under the collateral consequences of contact with the criminal justice system. I am in family law. I'm your current district drug court judge. And in 2013, I was a victim of gun violence. I was shot in my front yard. My kids were home. So I get it. I get it probably better than a lot of the folks inside the courthouse.
Thank you so much, Judge Hall.
And I ask for your support in this election. 1 minute goes by quickly.
Mr. Kevin Jones.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to the lovely ladies of Delta Sigma Theta for having me this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Jones, and I'm a candidate for Durham County District Court Judge, Seat 3. So, why am I running? I'm running because I am in pursuit of greater justice for the citizens of Durham. Greater justice is not two terms you see put together very often. My campaign defines greater justice as never being satisfied with the status quo. Never being satisfied with the business as usual mentality when it comes to the courthouse and the judicial system. Because when you do that, justice is not served. People's rights are trampled. So what my campaign is centered around is pursuing greater justice by focusing on respect, redemption, and rehabilitation. Respect, that means having the right judicial temperament when people come before the courthouse. That means treating people right, talking to people the correct way. When people come to the courthouse, they don't come to the courthouse to be abused, humiliated, or mistreated. They come to be helped. Rehabilitation. People often want to focus on the accountability piece, but they forget accountability also encompasses rehabilitation, because when people go away to jail, they have to come back to the community. So we need to put things in place to help them reincorporate themselves. And lastly, redemption. We have to keep in mind that we all have fallen short, and we all need an opportunity to get back up on our feet. So I'm asking you, Durham, to vote for Kevin Jones, because we all are in pursuit of greater justice. And I'm going to start with this. My wife's birthday is today. Happy birthday, honey. She's out here campaigning with me on her birthday. That means she wants greater justice. I hope you do too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jones.
Blue party, you know.
That was over your minute. Okay, Miss Anna Richards, who is running for Orange County Commissioner race. And then for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and have Sarah Smiley make her way up.
Good afternoon, Durham. Good afternoon. And good afternoon, and thank you, Deltas. I'm running unopposed. I was appointed to Orange County Commission unanimously in September, and only in North Carolina would you be appointed in September and have to run in May. But I am running because I want to finish what I started. I'm a community activist. I'm a first-time candidate. I know some of you live in Orange County. I'm here to serve, and my motto is expanding the table. Everyone needs a seat. We don't need to talk about who's seating. We need to expand the table so that we all have a voice. So thank you for inviting me, Durham. Appreciate it. And for those of you who are in Orange County, because I'm unopposed, I won't be on the ballot in May, but I will in November, and I ask for your vote. Thank you so much.
And so Ms. Smiley, I'm assuming, is not in the room. Okay, so the next race that we have coming up, we have quite a few candidates. So if you know that you are running for school board, please be ready promptly to come to the stage. We're going to start off with Emily Chavez, Durham County School Board, District 1. If I could get the school board candidates to go ahead and line up, just for the sake of time.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me to this event. I am running for District 1 School Board, the east part of the city of Durham. and I am a bridge builder for change. I am ready to move things toward greater equity here in Durham. My platform issues are racial equity, LGBTQ+, student support, and improving teacher working conditions and wellness. And I have spent my career in education. I am a former DPS teacher. I taught at Hillside for 4 years. I've been in different administrative roles in education for the last 9 years, and I've seen education from all sides. I currently direct a program to recruit and retain teachers of color and teachers from underrepresented backgrounds for Durham Public Schools, and I have done professional development with teachers. I've seen many of the issues that arise in education, but I think most importantly, I know how to make relationships and move things toward change, and I think we can do that here in Durham for our students. Right now, nationally, 49% of educators have a desire to leave their jobs or transfer jobs, and we have to keep our teachers here and support them, as well as make sure that our students have all the opportunities that they need. I'm also very passionate about culturally relevant pedagogy, and have done a lot of work in that area. And so I hope that I can improve our system for our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Jasper Fleming.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jasper Fleming, candidate for School Board District 1. Thank you, Justice, for having us this afternoon. There are 3 reasons why I decided to run for school board. The first reason is that I have a daughter that's 5 years old, and her transition from preschool to Durham Public Schools was just horrible. And I want to be a parent that's going to, how can I say this? A parent that's involved, that's vested in their child's education. And I want to be a voice for the voiceless. So 2, pay equity. Pay equity is something that we have to talk about in Durham Public Schools when it comes to our classified workers. Classified workers make anywhere from $15 to $17 an hour. And as you know, that's not a livable wage here in North Carolina or in Durham, North Carolina. So if elected, that's something that I would definitely work with our county commissioners to increase their pay. 3rd is transparency. I believe that Durham Public Schools can be a little bit more transparent about their budget and about everything that's going on within Durham Public Schools. We are taxpaying citizens, and we should have the right to know what Durham Public Schools is doing with our tax dollars. Again,
thank you so much, Jasper. If I could remind every candidate, because there are people in the back who are saying that they can't hear, please keep the mic as close to your mic as possible. And also, for the sake of time, you don't have to shout out Delta Sigma Theta. We know we're great, and we appreciate everyone being here. And also NPHC. So the next candidate, we're not sure if he's here or not, Mr. Curtis. I do not want to mess up your last name. Hershik. Is he here? He's not, okay. Next candidate for Durham School Board District 2 is Donald Hughes. Is Donald here? No. Okay. Alrighty. So the next candidate for District 2 is Bettina Umstead. Ms. Umstead, are you here?
Good afternoon, everyone. I said, y'all are in here now. Come on. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Bettina Umstead. I am running for re-election for District 2. I currently serve as the chair of Durham Public Schools Board of Education. I came to Durham as an avid volunteer at Shepherd Middle School at UNC, and I decided Durham was where I wanted to be, where I wanted to work, because the students in the school district look like me. They remind me of me and my sister, my cousins, my family, and my friends, and I knew that they needed a strong public school education to prepare them what was next in their lives. In my time on the board, we have increased our graduation rate to 87%. We have built 3 new schools. I worked on the team that adopted a racial and educational equity policy. And while we've done a lot of really great work, including I've also led our district through the COVID-19 pandemic, we have a lot more work to do. Our students are struggling with mental health, and I know over the next 4 years, I'll be thinking about how we can expand those options. How can we work to increase their academic achievement? And how do we make sure our educators feel valued as they're working in our school district? Like I said, we've done a lot of great things here in Durham. This is where I choose to live and work because I love the people that are here and the history that is here. But we have a lot more work to do. I'm a collaborative leader who will listen and make sure that solutions are brought to the table. So I hope I have your support, Bettina Umstead at District 2, and you can check me out at bettinaumstead.com. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Joetta McMiller, Durham School Board Consolidated, District B. Okay, we'll move on to Millicent Rogers, Consolidated District B also.
Hi everybody, I'm Millicent Rogers. I was born and raised in Durham, North Carolina. I'm a graduate of Durham School of the Arts. I am running for school board to represent 44% of single parent households that are in Durham that deserve fair and adequate representation on the school board. I have three goals. One of my goals is to improve teacher pay and teacher working conditions, increase the community schools model that is running in Durham that brings in community resources into individual schools, and to make sure that our classified staff get a living wage so that they can live here and live well. I have a son who attends Club Boulevard and is going to go to Githens, which is one of the schools that needs some attention because it's overcrowded. And I look forward to, as a member of the school board, working on the issues with overcrowding and the issues with our magnet schools. We need magnet schools that serve right now what the students need and not what they needed 30 years ago. Check out more about my platform at Millicent, MILLICENT, for DPS.com. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Valerie Jarvis, School Board District 4. I'm calling out the names of the people that RSVP'd, and then I will go back to everybody else. Micah Jeter, School Board District 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Micah Jeter, and I am running for school board. Why? Because I'm a mom. My daughter and others like her have been struggling after COVID for far too long. I'm also a 20-year social worker with experience in trauma and healing, and I believe that our school board needs new ideas, a new clinical lens, and a perspective to make the change happen. 76% of our students are brown or Hispanic, and 76% of them are not performing at grade level. The status quo will not serve our families. We need to vote different and have change happen. My daughter is continuing to work on thriving along with your own students. There has been a mental health crisis because of COVID. 2 children have tried to commit suicide this week that are in 7th grade in our district. It is a massive crisis. So I'm asking you for your support as we work to help pivot out of COVID and into thriving and into success. MicahJeterRuns.com. Thank you.
And do we have any other school board candidates? Okay, so I only know one name. Oh, Natalie Byer, please come forward. And then we'll have Frederick come.
Good afternoon. My name is Natalie Byer. I am the incumbent representing District 4, running for re-election. I want to take my time to also tell you about District 3. Matt Sears is a former Teacher of the Year and running against a Republican in that race. So keep an eye on that if you live in District 3. District 4 is North Durham. It is North Durham and East Durham. It is the most vulnerable district in our community to take over by a Republican slate that is organized and trying to join our board. No dissing the Republicans that are attending here, but that is a mess across the country. It has nothing to do with the work of school boards. It's a wedge issue trying to stir up Republican voters. My platform is building excellent, equitable, and innovative schools, and that's what I will fight to do. I'm fighting with the commissioners to make sure our people get raises up to $17 an hour, and we will keep fighting. I'm fighting to make sure that our teachers have the highest salary supplement in the state. I can tell you our staffing has never been more desperate, and we need local support while we fight at the state level to get Leandro funded. So I really appreciate your support, your consideration. If you're looking for more information, the Durham Association of Educators has great questionnaires online, but I need you to be aware of this Republican threat to our Durham School Board and go out and be informed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frederick Raven.
Aggie Pride.
Wait, hold on. Don't come up here with that mess.
Eagle Pride.
You in Durham.
All right. So I'm a graduate of A&T and Central, Marketing, Finance, MBA, MIS. I just wanted to kind of get some crowd engagement here. I know. It's 50-50. I am running for re-election for the Consolidated B District. I am raised. I'm a Durham native. I was raised here. I graduated from Southern in '98. I have 3 kids to go to school. Excuse me. I have 2 kids that are actually at Oak Grove. I have another baby. She's 8 months. She thinks she's about ready to start school. But my 3 priorities that I'm really focusing on, you kind of heard some of it from some of the other candidates. One is focuses on recruitment and retainment of educators. In some of our classrooms, if you're looking at us district-wide, we have vacancy rates of up to 27%. If we're looking at our exceptional needs community, which is our EC educators, and our IAs, which are our instructional assistants. In addition to that, I'm trying to refocus our efforts on the health and wellness of our students. And on the third part is really looking at mentorship programs. Right now, we do have a gap when it comes to academic achievement, but this gap is not equitable across the district. So being able to leverage mentorship to address that should be able to help. Again, Frederick Xavier Raven III, running for re-election. My website is frederickraven.com. Thank you all.
So all candidates who are part of the General Assembly race, if you could go ahead and make your way to the stage. The first person we'll have is Guy Mueller for House 30. And then after that, we'll have Alan Busani, who may not be here, but if he's not, then we'll have Renee Price. Okay, so is Renee here? No. I do see Bernetta Austin. She was here earlier. Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Renee Alston. I'm running for re-election to the North Carolina House for District 29 in southwestern Durham County. It's great to be with you all. I'm so excited to continue serving all of you in the North Carolina House. For the last 2 years, I've worked really hard to do things like fight for COVID-19 mitigation efforts, to support our small businesses hit hardest by the pandemic, to build bipartisan coalitions around things like affordable housing and on behalf of the incarcerated. But perhaps the most important thing that I've worked on and been a part of has been standing by Governor Cooper in the exercise of his veto power. 29 times since I've been in office, that veto has been the only thing standing between us and undermined elections and conspiracy-laden politics. I'm running to continue to protect that veto, to serve my district, and to help elect Democrats to the North Carolina House from all across this state. And I need your help to do that. Because if we do, we can make investments that are long overdue that people in this state deserve. But again, maybe more importantly, we can move North Carolina away from the dangerous radical direction of the North Carolina Republican Party. Again, I need your help to do that. I'm thrilled to run, and I look forward to earning your vote this November. Thanks so much. You can learn more at BurnettAllison.com. Thanks, y'all.
Mr. Larry Coleman, and he is running for NC District 22.
Thank you. Welcome. Good afternoon. I'm Larry Coleman, running for NC Senate District 22, Northern Durham down to 85, and also East Durham. I've never run for office before. This is my first time, but I think I got a background that helps bring some fresh perspective with a proven leadership to Senate District 22. Some of that includes over 20 years of military service. I've been in Durham since 2002, started my education even before then, down the road at Durham Tech, finished up at UNC. Some of the bigger highlights that I've achieved both in service and community. In the service, I'm really proud of the work that I've done in Eastern Africa with nations on building their disaster response preparedness, and then also working with their military on training some of their leaders for United Nations peacekeeping missions. a little closer to home. Heavily involved in Exceptional Children PTA. My daughter's now 17, but Exceptional Children was in the Exceptional Children program, so I understand where some of the candidates are coming from. My other daughter graduated from DSA. And then also I'm proud of my work that I'm doing with the Durham VFW. We're looking to put some over 130 affordable housing units in Bragtown. That's ongoing with the city and a developer, so pretty excited about that. My priorities are education, housing, criminal justice reform, and tax reform. Larry Coleman for NC Senate. You can find out more at Coleman4NCSenate.com, Coleman4NCSenate.com. A few cards out there with a QR code to save a little paper. You can just take a picture. Thank you.
Mr. Alvin Reed, NC State Senate District 20. Okay, so that is the last of the ones that have RSVP'd. Is there anyone else in the audience that is a candidate or is here to speak for a candidate? If you could please come up front.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Thompson. I'm a candidate for the North Carolina Court of Appeals. There are 4 seats available on our ballot coming in November. I do not have a primary going strong to November's election, but I am the only Democratic candidate for the open seat created by Judge Inman when she decided to run for the Supreme Court of our state. I'm coming to the ballot with 25 years of legal and judicial experience, being a district court judge for over 10 years and then being appointed in 2018 by our Governor Cooper to preside as the first African American and first female to preside in the 9th Judicial District. I returned to the civil litigation practice where I right now represent women of domestic violence for free because that's my heartstring. I'm a licensed and ordained minister which has a ministry talk called Abigail's Bell, where I go around the churches and tell people to stop saying stay and pray, which further victimizes our victims. I haven't just been on the bench and stood in front of the bench. I've stayed active in my community. I serve honorably as a volunteer judge to help our kids coming through the teen court program because we've got to stop the pipeline to the criminal justice system. I want to thank you so much for remembering to go down to the bottom of the ballot so that we don't have that same hiccup where 401 votes kept Sherry Beasley off of the bench as being our first African-American chief female judge. And I thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. Please remember all 4 of us. We are not running against each other. That includes Judge Gail Adams, Salmon, and Darren Jackson. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, that ends the official formal program, but we would like the candidates to stay so that people have personal questions. This is a meet and greet. And so also since I have the mic, anybody got a song they want to request? Why y'all laughing? I got scared. Okay, so I'll sing next time. But also make sure you patronize Pickleback. Thank them for allowing us the opportunity to rent out this beautiful space downtown Durham. And thanks for coming.